Hey guys, what's going on? You're watching T-Bones Tech, and in this video we are going to compare the Canon T7i against the Canon SL2, and I've also thrown the Canon T6i here. This comparison is going to be just between the T7i and the SL2, but I'm just going to mention the T6i here for the first couple of comparisons. So first off, all three of these cameras have the exact same Canon APS-C size sensor. It is a 24 megapixel sensor, and because of that, the image quality on all of these cameras are going to be extremely similar. The only real difference in image quality between all these three cameras is going to be that the T7i and the SL2 have greater extended ISOs, and in theory they have less noise when shooting those higher ISOs thanks to their new image processors. Both the T7i and the SL2 share Canon's Digic 7 image processor. And the other main difference, because the image processor is going to be the Canon T7i can shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second. Same can be said for the Canon SL2. However, the T6i can only shoot 1080p at 30 frames a second. So we're just going to put the Canon T6i way over here, and we're just going to focus on these two cameras. The Canon T7i is going to be the one right here on my left, and the Canon SL2 is going to be the one right here on my right. So first off, both of these cameras have the exact same sensor. They also have the exact same image processor. They both fit EF and EFS lenses. Both the ones that I mounted on these cameras are L lenses, and they are EFS lenses, which means that they're going to have a 1.6 times crop factor. They both also have fully articulating screens. So the SL2 now has one where the SL1 originally didn't, and the T7i also has a fully articulating screen right here, as you guys can see. Both these cameras feature a pentamirror viewfinder, and they also both have stereo microphones here in the sides of the camera that's going to help capture better quality audio. The T7i can shoot 6 frames per second, and the Canon SL2 can only shoot 5. The T7i also has a much bigger raw buffer than the SL2 has, but that's to be expected on a bigger camera. Both the T7i and the SL2 can film 1080p video at 60 frames per second. Being able to film 60 frames per second is great for sports and action video, and it's also great because you can film at 60 frames per second, slow down that footage 50%, and the final video is still going to be 30 frames a second, which is great if you're trying to get some nice slow pans or tilts. And overall, it's really a nice feature to have. Both of these cameras have built-in Wi-Fi and NFC, and that means you can fully control these phones straight from your iPhone. You can actually have a live time viewfinder of what your scene is going to be on your iPhone, and you can actually take the picture again from your iPhone. It's a remote, and it works really, really well. And that feature is really great if you want to post those high-quality photos right to your social networks. But unfortunately, if you're shooting in RAW, you can't send those raw images to your smartphone or to an iPad. You can only send those to a computer, and that's not through Wi-Fi, that's through a USB cable or by actually taking the SD card out of your camera. Something that's actually pretty surprising is the Canon SL2 can shoot 650 pictures on a single battery life, where the Canon T7i can actually only shoot 600. Now, something that is no surprise is that the SL2 is much lighter than the Canon T7i. The Canon SL2 weighs 453 grams, and the Canon T7i weighs in at 532 grams. And that makes the SL2 79 grams lighter. The SL2 is also cheaper, running you around $550, where the Canon T7i can be picked up for around $700 to $750, depending on the day's promotion. But if you are interested in current pricing and availability, I'm going to have a link in the description to both the Canon T7i and to the Canon SL2. Something that's really not too important, but I'm going to mention it anyways, is the Canon T7i has a bigger flash. A bigger flash is going to give you overall better results, because a bigger flash is going to have more surface area. The more diffuse the light, the better the flash is going to be. The smaller the flash, the more harsh light is going to be. However, I definitely don't recommend flash photography, especially if you're using an onboard camera flash. 90% of the time, your images are going to be relatively unusable, so I definitely recommend using an external flash, or if you can get away with it, using only natural light. Probably the biggest downside of the SL2 is going to be the fact that it only has 9 cross-type autofocus points, where the Canon T7i actually has 45 autofocus points. And because of that, I've noticed the T7i focuses much more accurate and fast than the Canon SL2 does. The SL2 essentially has the exact same type of autofocusing found in a Canon T3i. However, when shooting video, both these cameras do have Canon's dual pixel AF system, which is extremely good for filming video, and if you are focusing with your LCD screen, it's going to vastly improve autofocusing. Both of these cameras have face detection, and you can also tap on someone's face to focus on the face on, again, both of these cameras, and that works extremely well. Both of these cameras have a 3.5mm audio jack, which is going to allow you to pull external audio from something like a shotgun microphone on top, which is going to give you much better audio than just the built-in dual microphones. Now that's going to be a huge feature on the SL2 for vloggers, because essentially, and I'm going to get into this more in another video, the Canon SL2 is by far the absolute best vlogging camera, hands down, ever, especially if you pair it to the Canon 10 to 18mm ultra wide angle lens. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, and we're going to talk about that in a completely another video. Both of these cameras have a built-in time-lapse feature, and they also have built-in HDR photography. The other big downfall of the SL2 is going to be the fact that the SD card is not on the side of the camera like it is on the Canon T7i. So that means if you have your SL2 on a tripod and you want to switch out the SD card, then you have a bigger tripod plate. You're not going to be able to access your SD card without pulling the plate off the bottom of your camera first. And you can see here it almost reaches the tripod mount. So pretty much if you have this camera mounted to a tripod and want to pull the SD card out without taking the tripod plate out, forget about it. Where with the Canon T7i, you can easily just access it right here on the bottom and pull your SD card out, and you don't have to worry at all about having your camera attached to a tripod. The T7i has bigger buttons and more of them, and I feel that the T7i has a little bit more premium buttons and feel just a little bit better to press than the Canon SL2, but there's really not a big difference there. As far as build quality and feel goes, both of these cameras have very similar build quality. I might give the slight edge to the Canon T7i, but that's just because it's heavier, and because it's heavier it feels a little bit more durable and strong. But the Canon SL2 feels pretty much just as strong. It just feels very lightweight, and all the materials are pretty premium and feel very nice. So which one should you get? Should you get the Canon T7i or the SL2? Both of these cameras are absolutely fantastic, and the SL2 is pretty much a smaller version of the Canon T7i. And because it's smaller, there are going to be a couple disadvantages of the SL2, which we've already talked about: the SD card and the auto-focusing system. They simply couldn't fit the SD card over here into the side, and they simply couldn't fit that big auto-focusing system on the T7i into this small little SL2. But as far as image quality goes, they're going to have almost the exact same image quality with a slight edge to the T7i. And the only reason I give the T7i a slight edge is because of that better autofocusing system. It's going to help more pictures be in focus, and that's going to give you an overall better picture. But if you are manually focusing and have both these cameras on tripods, the image quality is going to be almost indistinguishable. If I could only pick one, I'd probably pick the Canon T7i, but that's because I have more professional needs. I really need as good of an autofocusing system as possible, and I also really need the SD card to be here on the side. But that's just me. You can pick up the SL2, which is much smaller, weighs a lot less, and is going to also cost $200 less. You can use that $200 to help buy a better lens. You can pick up a used Canon 50mm f1.8 for around $100 used on Amazon, and you can also pick up a used Canon 24mm f2.8 for around, again, $100. So for the same price of just the Canon T7i's body, you could have a smaller, lighter SL2 with almost the exact same image quality, and you could also have two prime lenses. So it almost sounds like a no-brainer just to pick up the SL2 and save $200. However, that's the prices right now. The Canon T7i is definitely going to drop to around $700 very soon, which means that the price difference is only going to be around $150. Overall, I think both these cameras are absolutely fantastic. My full review of the SL2 is going to be up here in the next week or so. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to subscribe to this channel and then be notified when I release that new video to this YouTube channel. If you guys like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up down below, as always, and of course, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and then you won't miss any new videos that I release to this YouTube channel. If you have any questions between the Canon T7i and the SL2, make sure to leave me a question in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer all the questions that I get. That's all I got for you guys in this video, and I will catch you all in the next one.